name is Lulu Ward. I have done 7 Fit shows. And when I started thinking about what my Fit story was, I realized that almost every Fit show I've done, something weird has happened. But it was fun, and it just really demonstrates for you what live theater is, because anything can happen. So probably Susan Sargent has already shared this story from Counting the Ways. Counting the Ways was an Albee piece, and Adrian Churchill and I were cast in it. And we were at a performance in the afternoon, and the electricity went out. And so we are standing in the dark on stage, and of course the stage manager immediately comes out with a flashlight and gets us backstage. And Adrian just looks at me, we're gathered around this flashlight, he goes, "Let's do it in the lobby." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "These people paid for a ticket. Let's give them the rest of the show." I'm like, "You're right, you should do that." So it was a piece that did not have a lot of props. We never changed costume. Although the tech was really integral to the show, it was a very, very beautiful show, I thought. You know, Susan Sargent does amazing work, and the tech is always spot on. It was the only thing that was missing, really. The only element that was missing. So we went to the lobby and we did the show. There was enough light coming through the windows that we could do the show, and we did the show. And the audience that stayed, we just had a good time. It was a blast. It was really a fun show, and those are the times that you remember. Is like, here's an obstacle. Now you have to be creative, and that's what theater is. So that same show, not the same day, but the same run of a show. Adrian and I are standing on stage. Frequently, it's just a 2-person show. Frequently, we're standing together, and a woman. We have noticed this woman being fairly disruptive in the front row. It's here in the bathhouse, and just to our right. So you know the stage is level with the audience on the very first row of the audience, and we know she's being disruptive, and so we're aware of this person, and we realize that she's drunk. And Adrian and I are standing on stage together, and this woman literally walks on stage in front of us, just walks by. So Adrian and I both just do this. We go, and we watch her walk off. And no shit, my next line, the very next line in the script was, "And now let's talk about protocol." That was the next line. That was the Albee written next line. And I remember Gail Cronauer was in the audience, and she came up to me and she said, "That was brilliant that you put a plant in the audience." I was like, "That wasn't a plant. That was actually an audience member." She came back the same way. She came back and walked in front of us again. We watched her, we was like, okay. And then she sat down, and then as soon as the blackout at the end of the show, we heard them run. Like she was with, I guess her boyfriend, a date or whatever. He was embarrassed. He grabbed her and they ran out of there. In The Muse, which was a drama club show that's written by Jeffrey Schmidt, it was a movement piece primarily. Marianne Beig and I we were Cutter and Draper and Cutter. And she was in a carriage that Jeffrey Schmidt built that I am pulling behind me. She's covered up. The actress, Marianne, is covered up, but she's got this puppet that is the character, right? So the entire show was done with me pulling her around in this carriage. Opening night. Right before our entrance. I mean, literally, we are on our way out, wheel falls off the carriage. Wheel falls off the carriage. What do? You're an actor. You go, you have to make a decision, a split-second decision in that second. What am I going to do now? I just look at Marianne. I said, hold on to my belt. Get out of that carriage, hold on to my belt, walk behind me. And we did the rest of the show that way. I know Jeffrey was in the audience going, "Oh no, that carriage I built." And it's an amazing carriage, and he did get it fixed. But it was, that again, live theater. What can happen? What do you have to do to make it work? Whatever it is. Fit is always exciting in that way. You get to see shows that have never been done before. A lot of premieres happen here. You get to see one acts that never get produced by well-known playwrights that never get produced. Albee or Tennessee Williams or Eugene O'Neill or you Clifford Odets. You get to see one act that no one ever produces. And then there's a lot of edgier work. So you get to see a lot of different kinds of theater. That's exciting. There's always this really exciting creative vibe happening at FIT. It's almost like being at summer camp sometimes with a lot of these theater companies, because you get to see each other outside of the context of doing a show together. You see them, they're doing their show, you're doing your show, you run into each other in the hallways, you run into each other, out on the balcony. And you get to go see them do their work, and they get to come and see you do your work, and it's just that's what a festival is, but it is really reminds me so much of doing like summer camp or summer rep. I've done summer rep before, and you really bond with those people because you're all working together, putting together this thing, this production. So that's part of what makes FIT fun. When I first moved to Dallas in 1990, FIT was actually one of the few opportunities to work in the summer as well. Now, I know a lot of theater companies now run their season year round, and that did not used to be the way it was. Now, there are a lot of theater companies that have shows in the summer, but at the time you had two choices. You could do FIT or you could do Dallas Shakes. When I first moved here, that's what it was. So you had an opportunity to actually work in the summer because there were so few other shows being produced. There just wasn't a lot of theater happening in the summertime. So that was another fun part of doing FIT. And it's been a staple. I even see patrons that I never see anywhere else except at FIT. Every year I'll see the same people. And when you've been here as long as I have, you're growing old together. You see the same patrons in the audience and you're like, oh, we've both gotten old. Look at us. I know you. We knew each other when we were young. Remember that? So FIT, it's a bonding experience. It's a community experience. There is a community that happens. And much of it is already developed among the actors who work together, who have worked together before. But it also has to do with the audience. And that is the other element of this theater. That's the element that they're part of what you're doing. They're bringing the energy that you're feeding off of in that audience. And that's always exciting for FIT. So please share your FIT story. #MyFitStory. Let us know some fun things that have happened to you because of FIT.